Well, good afternoon, Central Georgia. Hope you had a good day so far. Of course, it's no secret why you are here, of course, because we have the potential of a winter storm for this upcoming weekend that could provide ice and potentially wintry mix. Now, over the past couple of days, the model runs have been pretty much doom and gloom, especially showing widespread ice and potential wintry mix. However, we do have some updates to the model runs that show some more promising news. So I'll show you that here with the in-depth forecast. Here's the look at the headlines for today. And basically for today, we're going to have clouds building back in. Then we're going to have some rain chances over the next couple of days. So by tomorrow and Friday, we'll have on and off rain. But of course, the main story is the potential for a weekend ice storm. So here's the reason why we have that weather impact alert. Because of the potential for a wintry mix and ice, the overall timing will be Saturday night going into Monday morning. But this all depends on how much wintry mix and how much ice accumulations that we have in our area, and will it be impactful for Monday morning. Some of the models show that most of the stuff should actually end by Sunday. So I'll show you all of that coming up. Now here's a look at the radar. Big picture. We see a front moving through the western parts of the southeast. So we look at Louisiana, we're looking at Mississippi and the northern end of Tennessee, and we see a line of rain. Eventually that's going to come into our area. That's going to provide on and off rain. This is the same front that is also going to provide the winter weather chances for this upcoming weekend. So here's a look at the local radar, and we're seeing cloud cover increase, especially over the past couple of hours. We're mostly cloudy, and of course, in the past couple of weeks, this would be the main story, but really this is kind of irrelevant because of the potential of winter weather. But we are seeing clouds building back in at the moment, but we are dry, but rain chances should increase over the next couple of days. Here's a look at the future view models. This is the best short-range model that we have. And it has rain beginning in the overnight. So by tomorrow mid-morning, we'll start to see a wave of rain come in. So tomorrow we'll just have on and off light rain, and some places could see more steadier pockets of rain. And by tomorrow evening and night, we'll have some sprinkles continue. We get into Friday and we'll just have on and off sprinkles as well. Not expecting anything truly heavy. And then by Saturday morning could see a couple of sprinkles, and this is how far it goes. The last thing it goes is Saturday morning. But looking at this big setup that we're having, we know that the front is coming, and that's going to provide those rain chances. But eventually, it's going to stall. And through this, it will gain a lot of Gulf moisture. We have cold air coming in from the north, and then we have Gulf moisture coming in from the south. And eventually that's going to combine and interact, and because of that, that's where our winter weather chances will be coming from. Now over the next couple of days, it's going to be very important to look at the uncertainties and fine-tune the details, because really we all are looking at where the track of this system is going to go. If it goes farther north, then the chances of impactful ice will decrease. And if it goes farther south, then obviously we'll potentially have a widespread ice situation. So this is the reason why we still have some uncertainties within the forecast, because it all depends on where that front and that system will go. So of course, here are the headlines for what we're seeing in terms of model runs. So the European model, especially this morning, is seeing more of a northward trend, which is really good because it will keep our ice impacts at a minimum and will actually be warmer. And with warmer temperatures, it'll be harder for any winter weather to develop. So we're hoping that this occurs. And then the GFS American model is also trending north as well, but it also shows wintry mix in our area, but it's not going to be as long as some of the other model runs that we saw yesterday, where it had ice and wintry mix throughout the entirety of the weekend. It only shows it for the overnight and throughout some parts of the afternoon on Sunday. So of course, let's start off with the GFS model. So of course, the GFS model has this wintry mix over most of central Georgia throughout Sunday morning. And you can see 5, 6 o'clock, the wintry mix continues. And then by Sunday afternoon, we should transition into mostly rain. By Monday morning, there is a chance that our northwestern counties could see some wintry mix once again, but then the system will eventually meander towards the east and will be completely dry on Monday. So that's the newest model run. Yesterday, if you remember watching Ben's stream or Ben's forecast, you can see the GFS had that wintry mix all throughout that weekend. So this is very promising. And of course, the most promising model that we've seen is the Euro model. Check this out. By Saturday, we basically don't see anything until the late night. And then by Sunday morning, we will see a wintry mix clip our most northern counties, but it'll only last for a couple of hours. So by Sunday morning, we'll just see mainly rain, and then maybe another line of wintry mix Sunday night. But then once we get into Monday, we'll be completely dry. So both models are now showing that we're going to be completely dry on Monday rather than having lingering wintry mix and freezing rain throughout that time, which will definitely help us tremendously. I've been receiving many questions over the past couple of days from local businesses, and I've been telling them, yes, there's a chance that this could linger throughout Monday morning, but with the newest model runs, it's showing that we'll be completely dry. Now, of course, this is going to absolutely change in terms of the model runs, but we're hoping that the trend continues, that most of the stuff will be north of us for North Georgia, and we'll just be left with minimal impacts. Now, of course, the reason why we're going to experience a wintry mix rather than snow as compared to this past Sunday is because rather than this past Sunday where the layers in the upper atmosphere were colder than the surface, allowing snow to develop even when the surface was above freezing, it'll be the complete opposite. The layers in the upper atmosphere is actually going to be warmer than the surface. So, what that intakes is that when rain or when precipitation forms, because it's warmer than the surface, it's going to come out as pure liquid. But then eventually as it falls, and if the surface is below freezing, then it's going to refreeze. And that's when we see freezing rain, and that's of course is when we see sleet. So this is what we are expecting. There's an extremely small chance that we'll have any snow for this upcoming weekend. If we do see any winter impacts, it'll be a wintry mix and of course ice. Now, whenever we mention ice, anytime we mention ice is a very serious event, more than snow. Here's the reason why. If we see a quarter of an inch of ice or less, well, of course, that will still be impactful. That'll cause some patchy ice and maybe some scattered power outages. However, if we see quarter of an inch to half an inch, well, then most of the roads will be completely icy, and we could see tree limbs fall off because it will be broken due to the weight of the ice, and we'll also have numerous power outages. The reason why this winter storm has gained so many headlines over the past couple of days is because the forecasted ice accumulations for most of the southeast is expected to be over half an inch or more, especially in North Georgia. And we definitely saw estimated ice accumulations in parts of central Georgia to be around this number. Now, this is the reason why this forecast is going to be a very serious forecast, because notice anything over half an inch would be absolutely dreadful, potentially catastrophic. Roads will be completely dangerous, or if not impossible to travel on. Widespread tree damage, and of course long-term power outages because of how heavy that ice is and how much it will accumulate, of course, on the power lines. Those power lines would not be able to sustain all of that ice. But thankfully, the models recently have showed once again that the ice accumulations is trending more on the lesser side. So hopefully that trend continues, especially in the next coming days. So right now we're 4 to 6 days out. So we're looking for better model consistency and better idea of the precip type. Now we know, of course, the precip type is going to be either wintry mix ice or freezing rain. In terms of snow, the chances are almost zero, and this is just due to the overall placement of the system. We could see some light flurries in some spots, but right now we are honed in on the idea of wintry mix and potential ice. And then by tomorrow, we'll start to get higher resolution models. So we'll start to have more timing or better understanding of timing, and also specific locations in which locations will receive more and which locations will receive less. But right now, our confidence is high that the ice concern is going to be just that. We're not going to see any snow like last weekend. We do have the potential for refreezing into the work week. Still, the timing is still uncertain, but if both of the models are correct, we would see potentially minimal impacts on Monday. We're really hoping that that's the case, and the exact accumulations and locations with the highest impacts still needs to be determined, as the short-range models will come in and provide extra data for that. Now, just recently, the National Weather Service has issued a map, and of course, you see many different colors on the map. Let's start off with the most southern counties. You'll see it's in dark blue, and those are the areas with a 10% chance or less of seeing impacts of winter weather. So, of course, knowing that we're in that area where wintry mix and ice would be the definite impact for us, it would be less than a 10% chance that they would see impacts from ice or wintry mix. The more north you go, so starting north of Dooley County and Pulaski County, getting into the southern end of Bibb County, the percentage is 20 to 30%. And then, of course, the more north we go, the higher the probability is for impacts from this winter storm. Of course, this could change, but this reinforces the idea that the chances for ice or impacts from this winter storm is higher the more north we go. And those trends definitely are shown from the recent model runs. Now, because of that, the National Weather Service has issued a winter storm watch for North Georgia. This does not include the metro yet. The National Weather Service said that they still want to see more data coming in to see if it's a certainty that they will be impacted. I still say the chances are high for the Atlanta metro to be impacted greatly by this winter storm, but right now we know for sure that North Georgia is going to be impacted tremendously from this winter storm for this upcoming weekend. So, of course, this is going to expand in the next couple of days, and we're going to see if it expands into our area, especially the most northern counties of central Georgia. Now let's take a look at the future view feels like temperatures, because we know once this front comes in, the winds have the chance of increasing. So we'll see what we're dealing with in terms of future view feels like temperatures, and we're not going to see much fluctuation. We're going to feel like the 40s and lower 50s over the next couple of days. Not extremely cold, but still below average for this time of year. So as we can see, Friday getting into the upper 40s in the early morning, and then lower to upper 50s by Friday afternoon. This is because the front is stalling. The front is stalling within central and north Georgia, so the temperatures are going to be lower in North Georgia as compared to South Georgia. And then we can see once we get into Saturday, that front starts to move down, and then with the air becoming colder, that's when that precipitation will turn from rain into a wintry mix and potential ice. So here's a recap of the weather impact alert. So the weather impact alert is from later Saturday. We're getting a better understanding that if we do see any wintry precip, it will come later Saturday evening, potentially Saturday late night, and then it's going to affect us throughout Sunday and potentially Monday morning. So this will be ice accumulations. The chances for overall snow is extremely low. It will be meant for far north Georgia. And the need, of course, stay up to date, avoid the roads, because if the roads are going to be icy, it will be extremely dangerous to drive on. We saw it last year with our winter storm that we had with historic snowfall, and I-75 was at a standstill for much of that day. So we could potentially have that scenario occur, hoping that it's not going to happen. And of course, postpone any outdoor events throughout the weekend. We know for sure, maybe you could have it throughout Saturday morning and afternoon, but for sure, Saturday night and Sunday, maybe even Monday, they definitely will not happen. So that's the latest update in terms of the model runs and what we're currently thinking on what's going to happen throughout the weekend. I'll have more details coming up in our weekday 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock show. And I'll also be doing another stream at 9 o'clock with more information, and of course I'll be answering more questions in that stream as well. Hopefully you have a great day, Central Georgia.